Hello everyone, this is Strawberry Podfic. Today we're reading Hysterical by Spark the Fangirl, chapter, I think this is 18? Yeah, chapter 18, Late for Class and Full of Sass. Summary. Buckle up, folks, the sports festival is fast approaching. I'm here, Midoriya said as he kicked open the door to the classroom. Aizawa groaned and smacked his forehead with his hand. It seemed that he was not as thrilled about Midoriya's presence as Midoriya himself was. You're 15 minutes late, Midoriya. I hope that this will not become a pattern. Midoriya shrugged as he walked to his seat. Sorry, Sensei. I was assassinated and I missed the bus. Bakugo turned his chair to glare at Midoriya. Murdered, not assassinated, idiot. How do you figure? Assassination is for political figures, not for being a colossal dumbass. Excuse me? I am the official interpreter for both the president and vice president, a highly sought-after political position. Thank you very much. The rest of the class said nothing, still trying to wrap their heads around the idea of Midoriya being murdered or assassinated. The president of a high school class, idiot, who, might I remind you, is a fucking rabbit. For shame, Aizawa cleared his throat loudly, cutting Midoriya off. If you two are done discussing Midoriya's tardiness, I'd like to finish teaching so I can sleep. Sorry, Sensei, said Midoriya. Bakugo just rolled his eyes. As I was saying before Midoriya interrupted, the sports festival is right around the corner. Midoriya jumped up. The sports festival? Oh, there's no spaces in that. Oh man, the sports festival is only the coolest thing ever. Holy crap, I can't believe that I'm gonna be on TV. This is so neat. Sit down, Midoriya. Midoriya looked around sheepishly, noticing that no one else had even reacted to the news. This was because they already knew. Aizawa had told them a few minutes before Midoriya had entered the classroom. Sorry, Sensei, he repeated, slowly sinking back into his chair. Anyways, the sports festival is fast approaching. Nezu has decided that to continue on schedule, we'll send some sort of message to the villains that we are no worse for wear after their attack. I, however, think that it's illogical to televise every student's weaknesses when we are well aware that a group of murderers is actively hunting us, but I was unfortunately outvoted by the Council of Muscles for Brains you call teachers. Fun fact, some of you may be under the impression that the brain is actually a muscle itself, thus rendering Aizawa's insult rather ineffective. This is, however, merely a myth, and therefore Muscles for Brains is a perfectly logical offense. Your lessons will start to prepare you for the inevitability of child stardom that will face the stronger of you, as well as training you to handle the stress of pushing yourself to the point of exhaustion and quite literally going past your body's limits. And before you say anything, Midoriya, yes, I know that breaking your bones does not necessarily bother you, but it does bother those watching, myself included. This means that you will not be exempt from these classes. Do I make myself clear? The class nodded. Ida raised his hand, and I assume you're wondering, of course, what the point of the sports festival is. Actually, well, you should be. Nezu says that it's to interest mentors for your internships, but that's just a cover. Todoroki leaned closer, intrigued at the prospect of a conspiracy. Really, it's just a massive fundraiser for the school. We sell those seats at outrageous prices, and Nezu coaches all the business students on setting up betting rings based on his analysis of each student. Midoriya tapped Bakugo's shoulder and whispered once he turned. Aizawa only got into the hero course because of the sports festival. He's still bitter. Now, Midoriya's definition of a whisper was much louder than most would consider. As such, the entire class heard the comment that was intended for Bakugo's ears only. I am not bitter, said Aizawa. He was. Other schools have bake sales, he continued. Ours makes children fight each other. Plus ultra, I guess. This was unfortunately a very acute observation, not that it was necessarily a bad thing. There was a reason the school could afford all those robots, and it started with an N and ended with an Edzu selling the rights to broadcast and advertise. Anyways, Aizawa sighed, the whole situation makes me tired. You have the rest of the morning off. I don't care what you do as long as you don't wake me up. And with that, he zipped up the rest of the sleeping bag that he was seemingly halfway into already and fell asleep. Ida and Uraraka walked up to where Midoriya and Bakugo were arguing at their desks. See, an assassination is the murder of an important person which is conducted for political or religious reasons. They didn't fucking kill you for religious reasons. Midoriya rolled his eyes. It was political, I swear. You don't even know who did it. How the hell would you know that it was fucking political? Excuse me, Ida said, chopping an arm directly behind the two. I hate to interrupt, but I'm very concerned about the implications that Midoriya possibly came close to finding himself in Death's icy grip. Bakugo scoffed. No need to worry, the dumb fuck has already made Death his bitch. Midoriya glared at him before turning his attention to Ida. Sorry for worrying you, Ida, but clearly I am fine. I just got a little shot this morning. Ida did not know how to respond to this. His quirk heals him, Bakugo said, noting Uraraka and Ida's stunned expressions. Remember? Oh yeah, said Midoriya. Right, it, heals me. That's why I'm alive now, actually. My quirk. Not because I'm immortal, because that would be stupid and not even a little bit possible. Now, it would do you good to realize that at this point, Midoriya was only barely trying to hide his immortality. This was because he figured that now that Shigaraki knew the only thing holding him back from shouting his quirk from the rooftops, and then subsequently jumping off said rooftops, was that it would cause an unimaginable amount of trauma, and Midoriya didn't actually think that was wise. How have you not died yet? Uraraka asked in awe. Believe me, I have. What? Anyways, Midoriya stood up suddenly. Lovely talk, but I'm afraid there's only about a month till the sports festival, and I really should talk to May about speeding up production on my grenade noose. Bye, he said as he skipped out the door. The three were quiet for a moment. What's a grenade noose? Ida asked. How the hell should I know? Bakugo said. Uraraka shrugged. You and Midoriya seem to function on the same wavelength. Bakugo looked at her in disgust. Take that back! Midoriya quite literally ran into All Might as he exited the room. Oh, young Midoriya, I was just about to see if I could grab you from class. What exactly are you doing out of class? Midoriya shrugged. Aizawa let us out early. I was going to talk to May about finishing up my grenade noose. Your what? All Might asked, confused and concerned. Never mind. Can you spare a moment? I have a few things I wish to discuss with you. I don't know. It's pretty important that I talk to May before she decides to scrap the original design and add spikes. Would that be an issue? Of course it would. What if the spikes stabbed the grenade? They might explode. This left All Might in quite the predicament. You see, he had assumed, logically, so I might add, that the purpose of the grenades was, in fact, to explode. He avoided this conundrum by deciding to drop the topic altogether. Yes, well, I promise not to take too much of your time. Midoriya sighed. Okay, then. The two of them found a quiet office to talk in, and All Might returned to his skinny form. I'm afraid, All Might started, that the USJ attack has once more limited my time limit. I can now only hold my All Might form. Y'all might, Midoriya interjected. All Might glared at him. This is rather serious, you know. Sorry. For about an hour, All Might sighed. As it is, I'm nearly out of commission, which makes your mastery of One for All even more important. How is the quirk treating you, my boy? Midoriya shrugged. Fine, I guess. I've got it up to the point where I can use a few hits at 20% without dying, so that's an improvement, I guess. And how is it working with your original quirk? Is it bonding all right? Oh yeah, I was going to talk to you about that. All Might looked worried. Is everything all right? Just dandy, I think. Actually, my quirk has been acting a little strange lately. I was wondering if it's in any way related to One for All. Strange how, exactly? Well, you know how when that funky face hand man killed me? It'd be difficult to forget. Yeah, well, I turned into a pile of glitter, Midoriya paused, letting his sentence sink in. That doesn't actually happen. I was under the impression that your quirk produced glitter as a byproduct. Well, yeah, but that's always after I come back to life, not while I'm still dead. I see. And it happened again this morning. Someone decided to assassinate me. Isn't assassination only for those in political positions? All Might interrupted, ignoring the far more important issue. Midoriya glared. It was assassination. Believe me. All Might said nothing. But when whoever it was shot me, I sort of just exploded into glitter. Usually when I'm shot, I just sort of bleed out till my quirk resets me, but not this time. It's only happened these 2 times. Everything is normal when I kill myself, which makes me wonder if the addition of One for All is causing me to react to deaths by certain other quirks. That's my running theory so far, at least. All Might nodded. Seems reasonable. Oh, and I haven't really gotten around to proving it, but I think that the time it takes for me to come back to life might be shortening a little, which would be really nice. Well, I'm glad you seem to be enjoying yourself. Personally, I wouldn't have necessarily said that Midoriya was enjoying himself. He was actually dying, constantly. That's about all I had hoped to speak with you about. I'll let you get back to your preparations. Midoriya stood and gave a curt bow to All Might. All right, then. Oh, and Midoriya? He stopped and turned back. All Might smiled. Give him hell. And that's it for this chapter. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Goodbye!